it's Amelia, and in this video I'll review how to add more book categories on KDP. Book categories are important so readers can find your book when they are searching on Amazon. If you would like to learn more about KDP, self-publishing, and marketing, be sure to hit the subscribe button as well as the little bell icon so you don't miss any new videos. Let's get started. So when you self-publish a book on Amazon KDP, you get to select 2 categories, but did you know that after you publish your book, you can change your categories and add up to 10 categories for your book? It's so easy, and all you have to do is use KDP's template on their help page to submit additional book categories. You can get there a couple of ways. From the KDP dashboard, make sure you're logged in, and then on the upper right, click Help. On the next screen, you want to scroll down, and on the bottom left, click Contact Us. And then in the categories on the left, click on the radio button, Amazon Store and Product Detail page. Then select Update Amazon Categories. You can also get here by going to this link, but it may vary if you're using a different country's Amazon website. On the right, a template appears for you here for you to paste your list of book categories. So it tells you exactly what you need. You need to supply the ASIN or ISBN, the marketplace. So if you're in the US, that would be .com. And they actually have an example right here, which is makes it pretty easy to follow. The book format and the category. So after your ISBN number, you want to put your marketplace and then the format for your book, paperback, ebook, hardcover. And then you want to put the category, including all the subcategories, and you want to separate each subcategory with this little bracket here. So under categories to be added, you want to list up to 10 categories. And then if you know of categories that you've added that you wanted to remove from, you can list them here. Otherwise, you can just delete this and just list the categories that you want to add your book to. So how do you know what book categories are best and where to find them? Let's go over to Amazon and take a look. So I'm using Chrome and I am in an incognito window, and it's something you might want to consider doing, especially if, in this case, if you're going to be searching a lot on Amazon. Otherwise, your search criteria may show up in your suggested products when you visit the Amazon site. Okay, so from the Amazon homepage, I'm going to click the hamburger menu here. And then under the Shop by Department, I'm going to click Books. If your book is a children's book, you can click the children's book category, or you can just select books from here. There's also a textbooks category as well. I'm going to just select books from here. Next, there's an array of subcategories here on the left. You can look in popular books, best books in the current year. So currently it's 2022. You can also scroll down and pick a particular subcategory down in here. Although initially I would suggest looking in the popular books category. Let's go ahead and select best books of the current year. And then you could filter down by category down in here. So for example, memoirs, children's books, suspense, nonfiction. Let's go ahead and select cookbooks. And let's say your book is a plant-based cookbook. So let's go ahead and look here and select this one, which it has over 2,000 reviews, which is an indicator that it's selling fairly well. I'll click on the book. And then once you find a book similar to yours, again, I'm only using cookbook as an example, but you want to select the category specific to your book. Then you want to scroll down And this has really nice photographic images. And side note that in KDP, under the marketing tab, there's something called A plus content. And A plus content allows you to add images and pictures to your book listing. I'll cover that in a separate video. So down under product details, you want to look here at the bestsellers rank to get an idea of how this book is doing. And then notice that there's 3 categories listed here. These are the 3 most popular categories for this book at this time. Now the rankings can change every hour. What might work today for a book category might not work as well next week or next month. It's good to check and change book categories ever so often. So this book is number 5 in the vegan cooking category for ebooks, as indicated here, Kindle Store. So by clicking on this category, you could see the top 100 paid and free bestsellers in vegan cooking. Now, notice the thread on the left. Here's where you want to consider start copying and pasting the category along with all the subcategories for your book. So in this case, say you do have a cookbook and it applies and this is an appropriate category, then what you want to do is just press and drag. You don't need any department. Just start at Kindle Store and then just paste that. You can just use Control-C or right-click and copy. And then I like pasting the categories in Notepad. So I'm going to move over to a new document in Notepad. And then I'll just use Control-V to paste. So when you paste it on the KDP template to submit your categories, each category thread needs to be in a separate row. So what you want to do is just delete the extra space and return and just clean that up so that the whole category is on one row. Now sometimes there will not be a bracket, so I would recommend putting a bracket in between like this and then just continue and okay, and then when you get to the end just press enter, and I don't have this saved yet, but just make sure you click File, Save. And this is also good as a reference later so that, in a week or a month, you could review the categories you submitted and then you can do some additional research to decide if you want to change anything. So the reason it's good to make sure you have all these subcategories is to ensure that the KDP team puts your book in the proper categories. So you want to continue researching for the appropriate categories for your book. And occasionally you may see a best-selling book with some odd misplaced categories or categories that don't look like that they fit. So let's take a look at this bestseller, The Total Money Makeover by Dave Ramsey. And it's a #1 bestseller, has the banner here, in Christian stewardship. So if I was searching for this book, I don't think I would look under this particular category, but sometimes you will find books in categories that don't 100% match up. Let's see what other categories he has this book in. So if I scroll down to product details, okay, so we could see that the top 3 categories for his book include education funding books, makes sense, Christian stewardship. I mean, it could, he is a Christian, and it could be somewhat like indirectly related. And credit ratings and repairs. So sometimes it just doesn't seem like 100% best match. Recently, I was looking in Amazon bestsellers under computers and technology, and oddly, I saw some children's books like this one, this First Big Grade School Zone book. So by clicking here, you can see that they have the #1 best-selling banner in introductory and beginning programming. So, I mean, it has nothing to do with computer programming, but as you can see, like this, and like here's another one, children's books somehow slip by, I'm not sure, but you want to make sure that the categories that you pick are directly related to your book. And then one more example, like The Rainbow Fish, which is a very popular children's book, is #1 bestseller in children's religion books. If I was looking for this book, I would not search under children's religion book, although again, it does have a special message. So let's look at the other categories for this book. So this book is #1 in children's fish books, makes sense. Children's religion books could make sense to a certain extent indirectly. And #3 in children's value books. So, once you see a category you think possibly could be related, click on that category and then look through the books and see what other types of books are in that category. Just make sure that the categories that you select are directly related to your books. And when you're all finished researching and gathering all your categories, you just want to make sure it's in the proper format to paste into the template to let KDP know. So in their example, they say to include the ISBN, the marketplace, and the format, possibly on each row. But I usually just send them a message, hello, please add the following 10 categories or however many categories you're adding, up to 10. And then I put the ISBN just once at the top with the marketplace and the format. And then I list out my categories. You could number them 1 to 10, for example. And you can use a comma or you can use a bracket. Either one is fine. I've used both as long as the subcategories are separated. And then when you're all finished, just select all the information, copy it, and then move over to the template and then just paste in your information, look it over, make sure everything looks okay, and then when you're finished, just click send message, and that will send the message to KDP, and you should receive an email back within a few days to confirm that they've added the categories for your book, or if there was any discrepancies, they'll let you know. And for children's books, you want to make sure you have selected the appropriate age in the KDP dashboard so that KDP can identify your book as a children's book for the correct age range. Now, what about international markets? Well, you can research categories on other Amazon country websites and submit a list for each market, but should you take the time to do this, it's probably not necessary and would require a large amount of time to research and for maintenance. You could try it on a couple markets if you like. It's a good idea to check categories for your book in other markets. Like, for instance, occasionally I check my ranking on the Amazon.Canada website. And if you get a spike in sales, you want to check your reports on KDP, which shows you the country where your book was purchased. You might find that your book is trending or popular in a particular category, and you might even get the bestseller banner, which Amazon does not alert you about. So you want to check your rankings. I know when I first started self-publishing, I was checking every day. So when you're newly published, I'm sure you're going to be checking every day. Once a month, I do go in and I check my rankings, and I record my rankings on a spreadsheet. This way I can kind of look back and see which books are trending and which ones I may need to change categories or do some optimization for. So after a few days of submitting, your book categories should be updated. Keep a close watch on your rankings, especially when you run promo deals. Again, if you see your books selling, definitely check your ranking, which can improve quickly. And if you do achieve the best-selling banner or the #1 new release banner, you want to take a screenshot and share it on your social media, keep track of it, celebrate, and that's why it's so important to check your rankings periodically. If you want to learn all the ins and outs about KDP, check out my book, which is dedicated to self-publishing using KDP. And if you prefer to watch videos, I have a whole KDP course. So check the description for availability or visit my course page, which is ameliaswritingcorner.com/courses. Well, that's it for today's video. If you found this video helpful, be sure to smash the like button and remember to subscribe so you don't miss any new videos. I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.